So good evening, everyone. Welcome to our group in Introduction to Linguistics. So we will present our group discussions about semantics and pragmatics. Next slide, please. So these are group members. There's me, Fransiskus Andrianto, and next is Mutiara Athallah Ultima.
Hello, everyone.
And next is Steffany K.E or Fanny.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. And there is Safrida Sekarningrum or Safrida.
Hello, everyone.
Next slide, please. So on the first page, we will talk about lexical relations. What is actually lexical relation? It is describing relationship among words meanings. For our discussions, the example was literature is book. Next slide, please.
So the lexical relation is describing relationship among word meanings. There are several of these. So the first is synonymy. Synonymy in semantics refers to a word with the same or nearly the same meaning as another word. We found the synonym in our life, such as small and little. As we know in this picture is ant, that the small animals. Then the second picture is when we make tea, we put a little sugar to make it sweet. So in this case, that small and little have the same meaning, noticeably below average in size. One is antonymy, a word that means the opposite of another word, or a word or phrase whose meaning is the opposite of another word or phrase. Antonyms are usually divided into two main types. The first is gradable, or opposite along a scale, and non-gradable, or direct opposite. Gradable antonyms, such as the pair big and small, can be used in comparative contraction like I'm bigger than you, and a pony is smaller than a horse. Also, the negative of one member of a gradable pair does not necessarily imply the other, while with non-gradable antonyms are also called complementary pair. Comparative contraction are not normally used. Also, the negative of one member of non-gradable pair does imply the other member. So I found the phenomena, the antonyms in the sign open and close. Open is included in the antonym that has the opposite meaning to close. So the third is hyponymy. When the meaning of one form is included in the meaning of another, the relationship is described as hyponymy. For example, in the picture, there is a chair. It is kind of furniture. As we know that chair is an object used as a seat. Chairs are usually made of wood, but there are also chairs made of iron or plastic. So the chair is included in one of the hyponyms of furniture. The last is homophone or heterograph. A homophone is a word that is pronounced the same as another word, but different meaning. Homophone, or literally same sound, are usually defined as words that share the same pronunciation, regardless of how they are spelled. If they are spelled the same, then they are also homograph or and homonyms. If they are spelled differently, then they are also heterographs or literally different writing. Homographic examples include rose as a flower and rose as a past tense of rice, while heterographic examples include two, two, two. So in this picture, we can find the word homophone that sun and sun is same sound or pronounced, but different meaning, and then different writing or include two heterographs.
So the next slide is pragmatic. After we know about semantics, we will move into pragmatics. In the pragmatics, we have the meaning and the failures of pragmatics. Next slide, please. So the meaning of pragmatics, it is studies the same words and meanings, but with emphasis on their context as well.
So, the next is deexist. Deexist refers to a word or phrase that show the time, place, or situation. Speaker isn't when talking, also known as deictic expression or deexist. They typically include nouns and adverbs such as I, you, here, there, to attend, to be used mostly where the content is known both the speaker and the person spoken to. So there are three examples that we found. Next slide, please. The first is spatial. Spatial deexist or place deexist concerns itself with the spatial location relevant to an utterance. Similarly to personal deexist, the location may be either those of the speaker and address or those of person or object being referred to. And the demonstrative, this, that, and those, although those are far from exclusive. So, for the example that we found in the lyric of this song, the meaning of the word this is one for the address, generally understood to be relative to the location of the speaker. Next slide, please. The second is temporal. Temporal deexist is perspective on the past, present, and future. This type of deexist is grammaticalized in the adverb of the time, now, tomorrow, and then. For the example in this case, that tomorrow, which denotes the next consecutive day after any day, is it used. The person in the message explained that the class takes place after the day she said or the next day. Next slide, please. The third is person. Person deexist or personal deexist refers to personal pronouns such as I, you, he, and they. When a speaker produces the word you refers to specific speaker. For the example that we found in the lyrics of this song, the meaning of the word you is the girlfriend of the singer's name is Bella. So we can change the lyric to but calling in Bella was a mistake. The lyrics of the song still mean the same. All personal pronouns word like this, with the most obvious pronouns being I and you. Next slide, please.
This time, I'm going to explain inference. Inference is a belief or opinion that you develop from the information that you know, or a guess that you can make, or opinion that you can form based on information that you have. As in the Mr. Kawasaki example, a successful act reference depend more on a listener ability to recognize what we mean than on the listener dictionary knowledge of a word we use. For example, in a restaurant, one of the waiter can ask another, there's spinach salt sitting. Where is the spinach salt sitting? Receiving a reply. He's sitting by the door. If you are studying linguistics, you may ask someone, can I look at your Chomsky? And get a response. Sure, it's on the shelf over there. There's this example make it clear that we can use name associated with a thing, salt, to refer a people, and use name of pragmatic people, Chomsky, to refer to thing, to keep things. The key process here is called inference. Next slide, please. In this example that I give is Jack O'Lantern was attacking a ghost. When the ghost catch the knife, we assume that the ghost going to hurt Jack O'Lantern, but turn out the ghost removed the spike shape that we can assume is a Jack O'Lantern thing. The assumption that we have is an opinion developed from the information that we have. It can be inference. Next slide, please. The next, I'm going to explain implicator. Implicator is the act or meaning or implying one thing by saying something else or the object of the act. Implicator can be determined by sentence, meaning or by conventional context, and can be conventional in different sentence or unconventional. In this example, I will show that a bully say, are you gonna cry? Oh, I know. She is just a little bit thirsty. First assume if literal meaning of the is just a little bit thirsty, probably she's going to give a drink because the girl that get bullied is want to drink because she's thirsty. But the actual things that she's going to do by that word she say is to pour the water to drink to up on the hoodie of the girl that get bullied. It's a example of implicator. Next slide, please. I'm going to explain speech act. Speech act, it's the describe an action such as requesting, commanding, questioning, or informing. We can define a speech act as an action performed by a speaker with an utterance. If you say, I will be there at 6, you are not just speaking, you seem to be performing the speech of a promising. Next slide, please. In the speech act, there are two kinds of speech act. It's a direct speech and indirect speech. In direct speech, it's a meaning of sentence directly. Just like the example that I gave, it's a few YouTubers say, take them down. And it's mean that it's literally asking to ask Thomas down from the sky. And then indirect speech is
indirectly using a word. Usually can use word can you, may, or should. And we're not really asking a question about someone's ability, but we are asking to someone to do something by asking the ability. It's like the example in this picture is someone in the comment of this video, it's still too fast. It's indirectly asked the girl to doing his hair more slowly. I think
That's it. Thank you so much for your guys' attentions. Thank you so much for listening our presentations. May all those we have shared be beneficial for all us. And see ya.
bye bye.